Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to wherever you're from. Welcome back to my channel, Teacher Cookie, the channel where I talk about the ins and the outs of Preply, give you some tips about Preply, what you could need with setting up, how to get new students, changing your prices. If you haven't seen some videos already, they're already, I'm sure, on my channel. Let's get started into today's. In today's video, we're going to look at why you may want to consider Preply to be one of your sources of income or even your main source of income. And this somewhat high, a lot of people regard it as high, commission model, it might be worth it because there's a lot of features here that Preply offer that can add a lot of value to you and take a lot of stress out of your life. So the first reason, the most obvious reason, but also the most important and valuable reason is that Preply finds your students for you. So as long as your profile is active and not hidden, then Preply will on your behalf find you new students who may want to sign up to lessons with you. Of course, this is an invaluable benefit because I'm certain that if you didn't have Preply to do this for you, it would be 100 times harder to find new students yourself. And Preply will put you in contact with students all over the world. It's a really good opportunity for you to meet students from lots of different countries in the world without you having to do the hard work of actually scouting for these. Preply is a really reputable site with hundreds of thousands of customers and teachers as well. So you know for sure that students feel some sense of trust towards Preply, are happy to pay for lessons through the sites, and then none of that is on you. It's not like you're a brand new tutor and people don't know whether to trust you with their money or not. They're trusting Preply with their money and therefore are more likely to book lessons through the site, rather than you being an individual and working without Preply, where people might be a bit unsure whether this is the right path for them. Extending on my first point, not only do Preply find you new students, but they actually play a part in retaining these students for longer lengths of time. For example, with the subscription package, they encourage students to book a higher number of lessons or continue it by offering them discounts, something that you're not able to do and you don't have to do on your regard. Preply do it for you. Of course, that's a benefit for you, more likely to have a student for a long period of time, but of course they're benefiting themselves too, because you know the more revenue they make the more revenue you make, the more commission they can take. So this is fantastic. Not only that, but they also send prompts quite often to students saying, you haven't booked a lesson in a week, feel free to book a lesson with your tutor now. This is something you don't have to do. You can send them a message if you like, but the fact that Preply do this on your regard takes some of that burden off of you, and that you feeling guilty to having to keep prompt your student. Preply's doing it for you. So if your student gets annoyed about it, like, oh, why do they keep emailing me? They're less likely to be angry at you to do it, but more angry at Preply. And that just takes a lot of the hassle off your side. But again, it will encourage a lot of people. Although it might be a hassle to some, people might go, yes, that's right, I haven't had a lesson in a week, I should book one. And these prompts actually do work. Preply wouldn't send them if they didn't work. Getting into the features of Preply that less people know about and actually the benefits of them, and after teaching on this platform for almost 4 years now, I can definitely tell you about the benefits of these. And that is, Preply has a whole document full of your earnings. They call it the earnings report. You can download this at any time during the day. It's available 24/7. And this is really useful for tracking your earnings. You can find it in the statistics page of Preply. If you scroll down to your earnings, you can download an earnings report. Not just for your lifetime earnings, but you can set to dates and show the earnings between a certain point. This is really great if you obviously you're a freelancer through Preply, so when it comes to paying your taxes, like I do every single year through all of my earnings, this is a really good way to monitor that and sets it out in a really clear and understandable way, so you can convert your earnings into your currency, or you can just note down what earnings you've made during the course of that year, and they give a little sheet of saying the original amount, how much commission they've charged, and how much then they've given you to your account, also the student and how much they've paid too. So it's really insightful information that requires very little effort on your part, whereas if you were doing it yourself through without Preply's supervision or help, again, you'd have to take out the time to to jot these notes down, change the students' prices, fill in your own taxes and keep track of all of your own earnings. So this might be a bit more difficult for you. Another rather new feature to Preply, which really sets it aside from maybe working alone or freelance without a freelance site like Preply, is the fact that now Preply has a community page where you can ask your problems. People who are also teachers can try to solve them. You can share your ideas on things, what potential things to improve on. This is absolutely fantastic, fundamental, and really key to not just expanding your teaching knowledge and become better as a teacher, but also keeping social in general. Online teaching in general can be a really lonely place because you are your own boss, but you're your only employer, really. You're your only employee. You don't have colleagues. But through Preply, it makes you feel like you do have colleagues because you've got other teachers that are teaching through Preply that you can now interact with in this community page on the Preply site. This is fantastic. When I first started Preply, they didn't have this feature, and I really wanted this and often requested that something like this exists. So the fact that Preply listens to us as the teachers on the site and came up with this community aspect of the site is fantastic, and I'd really encourage you, if you haven't already, to check it out on Preply. And again, that's what sets Preply aside from maybe teaching by yourself. Not for a site like this, it can get rather lonely and you have to do everything yourself, whereas here there's other teachers in the exact same boat as you that can be there to support you with any problems or issues that you need. Furthering that point about help and support, of course, Preply also have their own live chat who you can message. Again, usually 24/7, but sometimes they can take some time getting back to you, but they say they try to do it as quickly as they can. Again, if you've got any problems or issues, whether it's with a student or whether it's with timings or something hasn't gone right, they can help rectify the problem. And this is really great, having someone like that. And again, when you're working by yourself, you don't have the access to that. Again, you have to do everything yourself. And if you have an issue with payment or someone's not paying you, without Preply, it's really hard to get hold of that funds when it's just you doing all of the admin work yourself. At least with Preply, you feel much safer that if you conduct a lesson in the Preply space and the student hasn't confirmed it or they refuse to pay, the Preply team can step in and show and see that you've conducted the lesson, you've both been there for it, and therefore Preply will be on your side to help you there. So that's fantastic. So I hope some of these reasons that I've given make you see why Preply is beneficial and why this commission model isn't actually too bad. Yes, it can feel like a lot off your salary, off your wages, but when you're making more and more wages from Preply finding you more students that you wouldn't be able to find yourself, and also all of this help and support that Preply are able to offer, then maybe it doesn't seem too bad to give less than 20% of your wages each month towards Preply, and you may consider this as actually a fair deal. If you have any questions with it, you can ask the Preply support. Even if you're not signed up, you can send them an email. You can leave comments for me underneath. I'm not sponsored by Preply. I've just been a teacher on the site for a number of years. So if you've got any questions, I'm sure I'll be able to answer them too. So thank you for watching. If you want to see more videos, please like the video, and we'll speak very soon. Take care.